given the fact that we need to keep everybody's feet planted firmly on the ground. Let's start with a photograph that shows a head that has clearly painted onto it. And if you notice in this photograph, the astronaut intentionally is using the stick or the rod coming up there to identify it farther out in the field of view. Because a lot of these photographs, people think that they were just taken randomly, and they're not. These astronauts were intentionally pointing things out in these photographs, and this is one of the methods they used, using another object to put it in your line of sight. And when you zoom in on that, you're going to see a head, and it looks like an Indian head, almost with a headdress on it, clearly painted over the forehead. This was probably created by the set builders themselves doing that. And there are other documentations that saying that they had images on the backside of the rocks, Snoopy heads and cats and everything else, when they were on their practice sets. And this is the same practice set, that's all. Okay, let's have a look at some discarded garbage on the set. And if you look closely at this, there's absolutely no tracks around where this can is sitting. Absolutely nothing there. You know, they sprayed a bit of dirt around. They're using a stone slinger or whatever to smooth out the terrain on their artificial set at Flagstaff. And it's also documented in the cue cards as well, because we're calling Coors Light and imported beers, right? And of course, in the States, Canadian beer would be an imported beer. And here it is sticking straight out of the soil. Nothing around, no footprints, no anything. But it's sticking straight up out of there.
You know what I find interesting is that the LM landing gear was built in Quebec. If the landing gear is built there, then why wouldn't there also be a beer can that might have been carried along with it? You just don't know.
Well, except the thing is these guys were, of course, the elite, and of course they're going to be drinking imported beer rather than the water that they produce down there.
This is also interesting that the crews that worked on building and dressing these sets really were the whistleblowers, and that is a fact.